Okay.
Cool. Okay, so this part looks pretty straightforward. You basically just have to memorize the session information so that it keeps it between the different requests.
Yes.
Okay, look at the hints and caveats part. Number 3. So to be RESTful, we want to preserve the property that a URI results in a sorted faulted view always contains a corresponding sorting faulting parameters. Therefore, if you find that an incoming request URI lacks the right params and you're forced to fill them in the session, the RESTful thing to do is to redirect them to the new URI containing the appropriate parameters.
Okay.
To fix this, use flash.keep right before your additional redirect. Now, that's an interesting one. Read that last one carefully. Then that's like a bit of a catch.
Yes. Your previous action had placed the message in the flash to display.
Say flash.keep between requests as well. Controller.
To fix this, use flash.keep right before your additional redirect.
Okay, so if we have stuff in a session and someone goes to the default URL, we have to redirect them so that the parameters in their URL matches the filtering that the session has. Right?
Yes.
That's interesting. Selected ratings. Okay, so we've got the ratings. We've got a param that keeps the movie, the order of it. Where's the index? Yeah, we have params order that gives us the order of the things. This would be a really good case for a before filter. You know that. Are we supposed to know about this and use it already? I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, that makes sense to use it here, because we don't want to clutter the index with extra code, right? That doesn't belong there.
Yes.
So we could add it to our private section at the bottom of the controller, and then just add a before filter. So before filter only on index, do something.
Okay.
So like before filter.
Oh yes, I remember. Okay.
Match filter URI only for the index action. So this will only work on the index action, right? So we'll have a little thing here. The great thing is if in this method we call render or redirect or anything else, it immediately stops. So it will stop. It won't bubble up to the index action anymore. You understand?
Yes.
Which is great, but we do need to do the flash.keep thing that they mentioned, because it might be a case of us going back to that view because we just added something and we've actually got stuff in the session already for filtering. Understand? So you're looking at the main view, you've added your filtering stuff to it, and now you've got an add new movie. As soon as you've done add new movie, it's going to take you back to the stash movies path. But what we actually want to do is then redirect them to match the URLs that they're searching.
Yes.
So just think here. So we got the match filter URI, right? So if we have nothing in the params for either one, but we do have a session setting for them, then we need to redirect. But maybe before we do that, should we actually save our information in the hash, the sessions hash?
Okay.
Because here we're calling params order directly, right? And we're already using selected ratings. So let's take this out here.
And place it.
At the bottom there. So make a method out of it that just passes params ratings. You want to do that. So somewhere underneath match filter URI, we'll have a method that just returns back the params order information.
What should I call it?
Just call it column orderings or something like that. Because we're ordering the titles based on that one, right?
Order. Yes. Okay.
So leave the star behind there. And actually, we could have an after filter as well. So after we've done the rendering, we want to save the column orderings and the session, the filtering stuff inside the session. So that could be an after filter as well, right?
Okay.
So like, oops, we're not typing here. Filter. Again, only for the index section.
Yes.
Oops, I'll do that. It's better.
Yes.
So if we have session order is equal to params order. Wait, so if params.hasKey order, let's try to do it like this, as key order, then we set that, right?
Yes.
If there is no I'm just trying to think here. Like, what do they want us to actually do here? I'm getting confused. So, like, if there is nothing in the params, we must use what's in the session. If we do have a params, we need to update the session with it, right? But there's no point that we would ever need to delete the session information, is there?
No.
Okay, in that case, so we can do that. And we can do the same thing for the ratings, right?
The ratings, to remember that. Okay.
Yes. So session. Okay, so for that one, we've already got our shortcuts, right? So just one more thing I think we must try and do. We've already got the ordering, column orderings coming here, right? We don't want to save the parameter ratings as they are. We want to get this out, right?
Okay.
We want to do that. You understand? Because that gives us the filtered keys back as well, and that's what we're using to set that thing on top.
Okay. This column ordering, can't we put that in there as well?
We can, I suppose. Yeah, that's fine for completeness sake. Params that has key ratings.
Okay, so that will remember the filtered settings.
Yeah, so that will remember all our settings. The other thing we need to do is right now we're just sending these across, right? So we need
Yes.
to either send the params order if it exists, or we need to send the session order value across, right? So like if
Yes.
there's no order, it must remember it. Or do we need to worry about that? No, we don't. Because if on that other before filter, if we have session and no params for either one, we're going to redirect it to the correct URL. So we never have to worry about we'll always send the params to do the filtering. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Um.
Okay, so that's the first part, right? Shall we test
Okay.
this?
Yes. Let's do that.
Don't know if we can test this yet. But okay, let's see what happens if there's nothing failing here. Yeah, it looks alright. But of course it's not really doing anything like super fantastical at the moment. Because we're saving it in the session, but we're not really doing anything with it yet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
So, shouldn't we have um, like a redirect to the movie's path or whatever with the parameters or something, those saved parameters?
Yes. Yeah, we do need to do that. So that's the next part. I was just checking to make sure that nothing was really breaking. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because what's supposed to happen now, if you're following on my screen, right? Just have a look at my screen share. You can see the browser there, right?
Yes.
So when I click refresh now, it's going to order by these guys, and it should keep the sorting on release date. But when you click refresh, obviously it doesn't, right? Because we're not making use of the session. So what should have actually happened is when we click refresh, it should have redirected to the new path, including the order stuff in the URI at the top.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to say if we get params for like the filter, then we use that, else use what's in the session. And if we get params in the order, use that, else use what's in the session.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That's a bit confusing, but okay.
Yeah, because like we basically have to we're keeping history, so we need to either pass that history back to the user, or we need to update it with the new filters that he's just provided us. So it's a bit of a what the hell type of thing here, but all right. So if we have so what we're going to do here, if session dot has key, let's just do this because that seems to cause issues if you don't. So if we have the order session set and params order dot null. So in other words, so we have a session for the order set and we never received any order parameters. Blank is probably a better comparison to use.
Okay.
So if this is true, or this is true, session dot has key. I'm sorry, my daughter's in the background there. Right. Just 1 second, hang on.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So we've got the idea of the session there, right? So if either one of those conditions are true, we need to do our redirect because we've got filtering information in the session that needs to be displayed on the browser, right?
Yes.
So now what we can do, not yet, we need to create the hash, right? So the filters is equal to order. So order is either equal to the params order or actually no, let's use the right terms here, shall we? We've got, so it's either equal to the, the param, sorry, this is a bit of a complex one. So the order, if the params order is blank, right?
Yes.
So if it doesn't exist, then it must be equal to the session's order information. Else, it's equal to the, let's use the right term here, right?
Else, okay.
Right, that's the first one. I hope that'll work. It's a bit of a long line for one thing.
Okay.
Writings and rams.
Sorry.
Sorry, you can fix it. I'll move on. Rams ratings
Yes.
dot blank.
Yeah.
If it's blank, then it's equal to the session's ratings, right?
Yes.
Else it's equal to our selected ratings.
Yes.
And then we go redirect to the movies. Yeah. And we go filters.
Okay.
I think that would work. Let's try it. So if we refresh. Oh, whoops. It's constantly redirecting.
Damn, okay.
Let's just have a look here at the browser. So it was getting movies. Oh, it just kept redirecting like crazy. So we had a ratings. I don't think that was working out the way we thought it was going to.
No.
Okay, let's go back here.
If sessions.
Yeah, I think we're using the wrong thing here. We're saving the wrong information here. Just 1 second. The session for the ratings mustn't be our arrayed version of it. It must be the actual param ratings, right?
So all ratings.
Yeah. So you remember we had that, like we originally got the ratings coming back in that hash structure, where like PG was equal to 1. That's what we need to cache, right? Because that's what needs to come back effectively, right? So we need to do the same sort of thing here. Ratings. So we need to save that here, and we need to do the same thing here. Okay. Still don't think that's going to fix our redirect issue, but anyway. I wonder what it's doing there. It's like going into loops like that. So it just redirected. Okay, we're not redirecting to the, we're not passing the right thing across. So we're not getting the filters coming out there. So maybe let's try this. Order is equal to filters. See if that works. ratings is equal to filters. Shouldn't have to do this. I would have thought it would just pass it across correctly. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, let's try that one. So if we go reload, still doing that loop nonsense. Why? Okay, I think maybe we're not passing the parameters across correctly. Redirect with params. How do we pass parameters? So you want to just follow along my screen here. Okay. So you need to say controller whatever.
Redirect.
Wait, you know what I think the problem is? Sorry, you were reading that and I just swapped the screen. But I think it's this.
The lag was fine.
There you go. Maybe that will do it. Let me just try. There we go. Okay. Close enough.
No.
Almost close enough. Okay, so what we actually got sent was ratings. Yeah, we got the array of stuff. I think maybe we need to clear the session out. Just hang on a second, let me go to the Rails console. I think we can. The reset session. Let's try that. That's not going to work here. Session.clear. Should we just try pass that as one of the first arguments when you run this? I think the problem is we've already session cached the wrong thing, and now it's memorized that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So let's do this over here in our before filter. Right, so we put that in there, we click refresh. No? Alright, let's get rid of the bad data. Okay, so now our session is clear, right? It's all working beautifully. We go back there, we remove the session.clear and refresh. Everything working nicely. We order my movie title. We take this away. Yeah, that's working. Did you see that?
Order title, yes.
Boom. I think we've got it.
Okay. Go into a movie or something. Like there at more infos.
Back to movie list. So I think that's it.
I need to remember this.
Yeah. We go to add new movie. Change our mind. We go back. We take this away. We've come into it for the first time. Redirects us to the right place. Just test it a bit on your side. I was going to, maybe we should try and refactor this. I don't like this method.
Okay, on my side, okay, it's working on my side as well.
Okay, cool. All right, that's good.
It's just really slow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so cool. So what do you think of the code? Are we happy with how this thing is structured?
Well, okay, if session has key order, yeah. Yes, key. Okay, I don't know. how will you refactor it if you let's say you refactor it? How would you do that?
Well, I did already. So I just changed this. Remember, we had that order and whatever. So I'm just passing filters directly through. Yeah. So
Okay,
just
and the
filters. Remember.
previous time it didn't work because our session was not clear.
Yeah, I think it was messing up the data. Also, we didn't have these brackets here. So it was taking as an extra argument to redirect to instead of as an argument to movie's path to create the URL. So we sorted that out. What about these methods down here? We've got selected ratings and all ratings. That's fine, I think, because selected ratings, if you come into the site for the first time, you haven't selected any ratings. So we'll pass you all the ratings, that's what gets cached, and that's that.
Mm.
Is that right? No, it's not. Is that right?
The only reason we have that all ratings is because we had the index. We had to set that all ratings by variable.
Yeah. Okay, and I suppose it's fine because when you go into the site for the first time, let me just clear the session thing. So we go session.clear up here. We go back to the base path. Okay, so now my session is clear on my side, right? It automatically checks everything if there's no session information. And then if you do any sort of like ordering of the columns, we don't have any session information for ratings, but it's besides the point because it will just select all of them by default always, right?
Yeah.
And then as soon as you start trying to like uncheck things and refresh, then we start caching their custom selection, so to speak. So that's fine, I think, eh?
Yes.
That's good logic. I just can't think of any way of really shortening. I mean, this private information we've got here at the bottom, all these methods that we've added to the controller, right? They're effectively doing work around the session, and the session is available within the view and within the controller. And they really don't belong inside the view, right? So I think we can leave them here inside the controller.
Okay.
Just a few filtering methods around the work that we would have had to do inside the index anyway.
Yes.
Okay. You can split them out into, I've seen guys talk about things like concerns. So you split that out into a concern. So we could have like a movies index concerns or movie index filters module that then you stick all of this work into. But I think for the purposes of this project, I don't think we need to go that far. Huh? I think this is good enough. Like if we add any more methods to this thing, if it goes over 100 lines, then I'd say we take this whole private block and we would refactor it into its own module. I don't think it's worth it now.
No. Also, it's simple methods. It's not really like complex stuff. It's just to simplify it for us.
Yeah, it's meant to make the controller nice and small and readable.
Mm.
Cool. Okay. I think let's commit this and push it up to Heroku. Then I think to submit this assignment, you have to stick the URL of your Heroku app into a text file and upload it.
I already did that, and so far we have 62 out of 100 points.
Okay, cool. All right, so should we do the submission as part of the broadcast, or do you think we should stop the broadcast now?
I think we can stop the broadcast now and just do it over the Hangout.
Okay.